My sister tried to steal my husband at our wedding, but I had the ultimate revenge. My wedding day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, it became the day I finally unleashed years of pent-up resentment and secured the most satisfying revenge imaginable against my conniving sister, Bethany. For context, Bethany has always been the golden child, the prettier, more popular, and seemingly more accomplished sister. Our parents, bless their hearts, never quite saw past her perfectly curated facade, always excusing her manipulative behavior as just Bethany being Bethany. I, on the other hand, was the quiet, studious one, often overlooked and constantly compared. This dynamic set the stage for a lifetime of subtle digs, backhanded compliments, and outright sabotage from Bethany, culminating in a spectacular disaster that was my wedding.my husband. Mark is everything I ever wanted. Kind, intelligent, incredibly supportive, and unbelievably handsome. We met in college, fell in love over late-night study sessions and shared dreams, and after 5 wonderful years, he proposed. I was ecstatic. Finally, something was going right in my life, something that Bethany couldn't touch or diminish. Or so I thought. From the moment we announced our engagement, Bethany inserted herself into every aspect of the planning. She insisted on being my maid of honor, despite our strained relationship, claiming it was her sisterly duty. I reluctantly agreed, hoping that maybe, just maybe, this momentous occasion would bring us closer. I was a fool. The help she offered was anything but. She criticized my dress choice, scoffed at my floral arrangements, and constantly made thinly veiled comments about Mark's past relationships, trying to sow seeds of doubt. I tried to ignore it, attributing it to pre-wedding jitters and her inherent need for control. But deep down, a familiar dread began to bubble. I knew Bethany, and Bethany never missed an opportunity to make herself the center of attention, especially if it meant tearing me down in the process. The week leading up to the wedding was a whirlwind of last-minute preparations. Family from out of town started arriving, and our house was a chaotic hub of activity. Bethany, of course, was front and center, charming everyone with her usual dazzling smile and seemingly endless energy. Mark, ever the gracious host, was also constantly surrounded by family and friends, making sure everyone felt welcome. I noticed Bethany gravitating towards him more and more, always finding an excuse to be by his side, laughing a little too loudly at his jokes, touching his arm a little too frequently. A knot of unease tightened in my stomach, but I pushed it down, telling myself I was being paranoid. It was my wedding, after all. She wouldn't dare. The rehearsal dinner was a prelude to the main event. Bethany, in a stunning dress that arguably upstaged mine, made a toast that was ostensibly about Mark and me, but quickly devolved into a series of anecdotes about her own deep bond with Mark, subtly implying a history that simply didn't exist. She even managed to bring up a particularly embarrassing story from my childhood, painting me in a less than flattering light. Mark, bless his innocent heart, seemed oblivious, laughing along with everyone else. I, however, felt a cold dread settle in. This wasn't just Bethany being Bethany. This was a calculated move. The morning of the wedding arrived, bright and surprisingly warm for late spring. The air was thick with excitement, and despite my growing apprehension about Bethany, I tried to focus on the joy of the day. My bridesmaids, my closest friends who knew snippets of my sisterly struggles, did their best to keep my spirits high. We were getting ready in a beautiful suite at the venue, sipping mimosas and reminiscing. Bethany, of course, was there, flitting around, offering unsolicited advice, and generally making her presence known as I was getting my hair done. One of my bridesmaids, Sarah, subtly nudged me. "Hey," she whispered, "have you noticed Bethany with Mark this morning?" I sighed. "Yeah, she's been a little much." "A little much is an understatement," Sarah countered. "She keeps finding him alone, whispering in his ear, and then giggling like they're sharing some secret. I even saw her touch his face when she was fixing his tie earlier." My stomach dropped. I wanted to dismiss it, to tell myself Sarah was overthinking, but a cold, hard truth began to crystallize in my mind. Bethany wasn't just trying to upstage me. She was trying to steal my husband. I spent the next hour in a haze, the joyous anticipation replaced by a creeping dread. I tried to get a moment alone with Mark, but Bethany was a constant shadow. Every time I approached, she'd suddenly appear, engaging him in conversation, or pulling him away for some urgent bridal party matter. It was infuriating and utterly disheartening. Just as I was about to put on my dress, I excused myself to use the restroom, needing a moment to compose myself. As I walked down the hall, I heard voices from a small, unused storage room. Hushed, urgent voices. One was undeniably Mark's. The other, equally unmistakable, was Bethany's. My heart hammered against my ribs. I froze, pressing my ear to the door, a terrible premonition washing over me. "Mark, you can't deny it," Bethany's voice, laced with a feigned vulnerability, floated through the crack. "There's always been something between us, hasn't there? More than just sister-in-law and brother-in-law." A choked gasp escaped my lips, but thankfully, they were too engrossed to hear it. Mark's voice was low, almost a whisper. "Bethany, what are you talking about? I'm marrying Amelia today." I know, she cooed, and it breaks my heart. Because I always hoped it would be us. Remember that night at your college party? The way we danced. The way you looked at me. My blood ran cold. The college party she was referring to was before Mark and I were even officially together, but it was a night I distinctly remembered. I had been there, saw them talking, but never thought anything of it. Bethany had always flirted with everyone, but now, her words painted a far more sinister picture. "Bethany, nothing happened that night," Mark said, his voice firmer now, a hint of confusion in it. "We were just friends. You were just being friendly." "Friendly?" she scoffed, a brittle laugh following. "Mark, you can't be that naive. I was practically throwing myself at you. And you responded. I saw it in your eyes. You wanted me, didn't you?" Silence. A tense, agonizing silence that stretched for an eternity. My mind raced, picturing Mark's reaction, his face. Was he just shocked? Or was there a flicker of truth in Bethany's outrageous claims? Had I been blind all along? Then, Mark's voice, clear and resolute, pierced through my agonizing thoughts. "Bethany, stop. This is insane. I love Amelia. I'm marrying Amelia. There has never been anything between us, and there never will be. You need to get a grip." A wave of immense relief washed over me, quickly followed by a surge of furious indignation. He had shut her down. He had rejected her. But the audacity, the sheer nerve of her, to try this on my wedding day, just moments before I walked down the aisle. It was unforgivable that I heard a sniffle, then Bethany's voice, laced with what sounded like genuine hurt, though I knew it was all an act. "You're just saying that because it's your wedding day. You're scared. But deep down, you know I'm right. And Amelia will never make you as happy as I could." That was it. That was the last straw. The years of being overshadowed, belittled, and now, this blatant attempt to steal my happiness, to poison my most cherished moment. A fierce, burning rage ignited within me, hotter and more potent than any emotion I had ever felt. I wasn't going to let her get away with it. Not this time that I quietly slipped away from the door, my mind racing, formulating a plan. I walked back to the bridal suite, my face carefully composed, though my hands were trembling. "Everything all right, sweetie?" my mother asked, her eyes scrutinizing me. "Just a little overwhelmed," I managed, forcing a smile. "But excited." My dress was exquisite, a flowing ivory gown with delicate lace details. As my bridesmaids helped me into it, I felt a sense of power, a renewed determination. I looked in the mirror, not just at a bride, but at a woman who was finally ready to stand up for herself. The ceremony was set to take place in the grand ballroom, transformed into a breathtaking floral wonderland. Guests were starting to take their seats, the soft strains of a string quartet filling the air. Mark was waiting at the altar, looking impossibly handsome in his tuxedo, his eyes filled with anticipation. Bethany, in her maid of honor dress, stood beside me, a sickly sweet smile plastered on her face. Oblivious to the storm brewing inside me, as the music swelled for my entrance, I took a deep breath, my heart pounding a fierce rhythm against my ribs. My father offered his arm, his eyes brimming with tears of joy. I smiled at him, a genuine smile this time, knowing that what I was about to do would shock everyone. But it needed to be done. We began our slow walk down the aisle, every step a deliberate act. I could see Mark's face light up as he saw me, and a wave of pure love washed over me, solidifying my resolve. He deserved better than a life intertwined with Bethany's manipulative games. And so did I. As I reached the altar, my father kissed my cheek and handed my hand to Mark. Mark squeezed my hand reassuringly, his eyes asking if I was okay. I gave him a small, conspiratorial wink, which seemed to confuse him slightly, but he smiled back. The officiant began the ceremony, his voice calm and resonant. He spoke of love, commitment, and the journey we were about to embark on. I listened, nodding at all the right places, but my mind was elsewhere, rehearsing my lines, bracing myself for the moment of truth. When it came time for the vows, Mark went first, his voice strong and clear, promising me a lifetime of love and devotion. Tears welled in my eyes, genuine tears of happiness and gratitude. He was everything I could ever want. Then it was my turn. I looked into Mark's eyes, and for a moment, I almost faltered. The easy way out would be to just get married, to put Bethany's antics behind us and try to move on. But then I remembered her venomous words, her insidious attempt to poison our love, and a fresh wave of resolve hardened my gaze. "Mark," I began, my voice clear and surprisingly steady. "From the moment I met you, I knew you were the one. You are kind, intelligent, and you make me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world. I promise to love you, cherish you, and stand by you through thick and thin." I paused, taking a deep breath. The guests shifted in their seats, sensing a change in the atmosphere. Mark looked at me, a slight furrow in his brow, picking up on the shift in my tone. Bethany, standing beside me, subtly leaned in, a curious smirk playing on her lips. "However," I continued, my voice now ringing with a quiet authority that surprised even myself, "there's something I need to address before we continue with our vows." A ripple of murmurs went through the crowd. My parents exchanged worried glances. Mark looked utterly bewildered. Bethany's smirk faltered, replaced by a flicker of apprehension. "Just a little while ago," I stated, looking directly at Bethany, my eyes cold and unwavering, "my dear sister, Bethany, decided it would be appropriate to corner my fiancé, Mark, in a storage room minutes before our wedding and declare her undying love for him." A collective gasp swept through the ballroom. My parents looked aghast. Mark's jaw dropped, his face a mixture of shock and utter mortification. Bethany, her face ashen, stammered, "Amelia, what are you doing?" I ignored her, my gaze fixed on the stunned faces in the crowd. She also tried to convince him that they had some secret, unspoken connection, and that he truly wanted to be with her instead of me. The murmurs grew louder, turning into shocked whispers. Guests were openly staring at Bethany, whose face was now beet red, her eyes darting frantically around the room. "Now," I continued, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands, "I want to be very clear. Mark, to his credit, unequivocally rejected her advances and reaffirmed his love for me. He handled it with grace and integrity." I squeezed his hand, a silent apology for the public spectacle I was making, but also a fierce declaration of my trust in him. He looked at me, his eyes wide, still processing the bombshell I had just dropped. "However," I said, turning my full attention back to Bethany, "this is not the first time Bethany has tried to sabotage my happiness. It's been a pattern of manipulative behavior my entire life, culminating in this truly despicable act on what is supposed to be the most important day of my life." Bethany finally found her voice, a strangled whisper. "You're lying. This is insane. You're making this up." "Am I?" I challenged, a mirthless smile touching my lips. "Did you not, just moments ago, try to convince my fiancé that he secretly wanted you? Did you not try to poison his mind against me?" She sputtered, unable to form a coherent sentence, her face a mask of horrified disbelief. Our parents, who had remained silent in their shock, finally stirred. My mother, her face pale, began to say something, but I cut her off. "Mom, Dad, I know you've always excused Bethany's behavior," I said, my voice softer but no less firm. "You've always seen her as the perfect daughter, the golden child. But the truth is, she's a manipulative, selfish person who has consistently tried to undermine me." My father, usually so stoic, looked utterly devastated. My mother had tears streaming down her face. The entire ballroom was silent, every single eye fixed on us, the drama unfolding before them like a scene from a movie. "So," I concluded, turning back to Mark, my voice filled with love and unwavering commitment. "Mark, knowing all of this, knowing the depths of my sister's deception, I still choose you. I choose our love. I choose our future. And I promise to spend every day proving that your choice in me was the right one." Then, I turned back to Bethany, a cold, hard glint in my eyes. "And Bethany, as for you, you are no longer welcome at my wedding, or in my life. You are dismissed as my maid of honor, and I never want to see you again." The silence in the room was deafening. Bethany stood frozen, her eyes wide with shock and a dawning comprehension of the magnitude of what had just happened. Her perfectly sculpted facade crumbled, revealing the raw, ugly anger beneath. "You be *TCH, she shrieked, her voice cracking. "You ruined everything." "No, Bethany," I said, a triumphant smile finally breaking through my composure. "You ruined everything for yourself. I'm just finally done cleaning up your messes." With that, I turned to my second bridesmaid, Sarah, who looked like she was about to burst with suppressed glee. "Sarah," I instructed, "please escort Bethany out of the building, and make sure she takes all her belongings." Sarah, without a word, stepped forward and took Bethany's arm. Bethany tried to resist, but Sarah, a former rugby player, was surprisingly strong. Bethany's protests and furious glares were met with Sarah's unyielding grip. As they walked away, Bethany continued to hurl insults, her voice growing fainter as they neared the exit. The grand ballroom doors swung shut behind them, silencing her tirade. A collective sigh seemed to ripple through the room. My parents looked utterly mortified, but also, for the first time, a glimmer of understanding, and perhaps even shame, flickered in their eyes. I turned back to Mark, who was still speechless, his eyes wide with a mixture of shock, awe, and an undeniable adoration. "So," I said, a mischievous twinkle in my eye, "shall we continue with the actual wedding now?" A slow, incredulous smile spread across Mark's face. He let out a soft chuckle, then pulled me closer, his eyes sparkling. "Yes," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Yes, let's." The officiant, looking a little dazed but clearly impressed, cleared his throat and continued the ceremony. The rest of the vows were exchanged, the rings were placed, and when he pronounced us husband and wife, Mark kissed me with a passion that spoke volumes. The applause that followed was thunderous, filled with genuine relief and admiration. Guests rushed up to us, offering congratulations and whispered words of support. Many commended my bravery, my strength, and my refusal to let Bethany ruin my day. Even my parents, after a brief, tearful apology, seemed to finally see Bethany for who she truly was. They approached me, tears in their eyes, expressing their profound regret for not having seen it sooner, for not having protected me from her manipulations. It was a raw, honest moment, a glimmer of hope for a healthier relationship with them. The reception that followed was, despite the earlier drama, incredibly joyous. A weight had been lifted, a dark cloud dispelled. I danced with Mark, my heart soaring, knowing that I had not only married the man of my dreams but had also, finally, stood up for myself. The ultimate revenge wasn't just exposing Bethany, it was reclaiming my happiness, my self-worth, and my voice. It was showing everyone, including myself, that I was no longer the quiet, overlooked sister. I was Amelia, a strong, courageous woman who deserved love and respect. And with Mark by my side, I knew I finally had both. Word got around, of course. Bethany's reputation was in tatters. She tried to spin a story, claiming I was jealous and unstable, but too many people had witnessed her public humiliation and my calm, measured expose. My friends and even some of her own former acquaintances rallied around me, offering their unwavering support. Her carefully constructed image of perfection shattered, and she was left to deal with the consequences of her own actions. Mark and I went on our honeymoon, a blissful escape from the drama, where we solidified our bond and laughed about the wedding day incident. He confessed that he had been completely blindsided by Bethany's advances and was deeply grateful that I had trusted him enough to expose her. Our relationship, forged in fire, felt stronger than ever. Life after the wedding wasn't entirely smooth sailing with Bethany completely out of the picture. There were lingering awkwardnesses with extended family, and my parents initially struggled to navigate their new reality. But slowly, things began to heal. My parents, truly chastened by the public spectacle and the undeniable truth of my words, started to treat me with the respect and consideration I had always craved. They began to see Bethany's manipulations for what they were, and their golden child facade finally crumbled. I haven't spoken to Bethany since that day, and I have no regrets. The peace and genuine happiness I have found with Mark, free from her constant shadow, is more precious than any superficial reconciliation. My wedding day, despite the drama, turned out to be the most liberating day of my life, the day I finally stepped out of my sister's shadow and into my own light. And that, truly, was the ultimate revenge.